So we were discussing about the image processing aspects in computer graphics. So we have seen about the quantization, and today we'll see about the various other options which you can see right now, like your pixel operations and these filtering, then warping and combining. So all these we are going to see just now. How to adjust the brightness, because we just play with the pixels. So we just simply scale pixel components, and if this is original image, after brightness you'll see the brighter image like this. We just add certain value, that is just scale the pixel value up, and the scaled up value also should be clamped to the range 0 to 255 only if it is a 8-bit image. How to adjust the contrast? These are various aspects of an image, like brightness and contrast. We compute mean luminance for all pixels like this: the 0.30r, GB, 0.59g, 0.11b, and this is the original image and this is the contrast image. So we use the scale deviation from this luminance for each pixel component, and again we clamp them into 0 to 255. This is the example of adjusting the contrast, right? Now as we said that this is our original image, now we want to adjust the blur. How to adjust the blurriness? So we convolve with a filter whose entry is sum to 1. This is how we adjust the blur, means smooth blurring, smoothing, etc. So each pixel becomes a weighted average of its neighbor. For example, if this is a filter, if you add sum all these values, means 1 by 6 plus 16 plus 2 by 16 plus all, if we add, we see that the result will be 1 only. So we convolve with a filter whose convolve means we multiply each pixel, means we take this say matrix and convolve or multiply it onto the image and move it like this. For every pixel we perform this activity. So this is the adjustment of blurriness. And how we are going to compute the edge? Because this image, if you see, the right one is only showing the edges part. Edges are where edges are the they are detected by the sharp variation or sharp change in the frequency, these intensities. So you convolve with a filter that finds difference between neighboring pixel like this. This is an example of your edge detection filter. This is your edge detection filter. So we convolve, multiply this with the, we find the weighted sum of the pixel. Then warping, image warping. This is an example of image warping. You might have seen in your childhood various mirrors showing it, and you keep laughing. So we move pixel of image. That is, we just move the pixels from here and there. This can be done using mapping and resampling. So mapping and resampling, you'll see, mapping can be forward reverse, resampling can be point sampling, triangle filter, and we can use Gaussian filter. So what mapping is, we define a transformation. We define the transformation. We describe the destination xy of each location uv. Means for each location uv, this we define the output location in the source, or vice versa if you want to invert it. And you can also scale by some factor. You can easily multiply by some scaling factor, and you can just reduce it. This is example mapping. And also you can rotate it, and you know how you are going to do this because we have already covered this. So this is how you are going to rotate it by, say, some angle theta. This is the rotation. This is example mapping. And you can also share by some x factor. You know how to do it. This is a shear factor. This is a shear factor. Okay, you can use this relationship to shear also. This is also a kind of image processing only. And there are other mappings also. This is a fisheye, swirl, rain. So there are various other mappings also available. Image warping, we can see the implementation of image warping as I just showed you. This is a forward mapping, and in this forward mapping, you see that this is a simple code. Okay, for you till umax, v till vmax, we compute each and every value, and the source is transferred to the destination. So this source is transferred to the destination point. This is a forward mapping. We iterate over source image. We rotate each by 30 degrees. So ultimately we'll reach to this figure. So many source pixels can map to same destination pixels also sometimes. For mapping, in this some pixels may also not be covered. So this is the forward mapping. These two things can happen. This is another implementation called the reverse mapping. So we use here f inverse, f inverse. This is the source image. This is the destination image. In this, the iteration is over the destination image. This is much. You must resample the source, and many oversample, but much simpler than the previous one. This is reverse mapping. Resampling means we evaluate source image at some arbitrary UV. So we try to resample. This is UV. This UV does not usually have integer coordinates. So for that, we need to evaluate the source image. So now coming to resampling, we can evaluate it using point sampling. We take values at the closest level. We try to find out the value at the closest level. This closest level. So we can just find out using. This method causes aliasing also, Jaggering effect. We use this truncate function, trunc, and then we add 0.5 to the original values, and we can just rotate and scale. This is a scaling function. 0.5 we have added. So this is in this way we can do point by point scaling, and we convolve with a triangle filter. Then we call it as a triangle filtering. This is a triangle filtering. The output is something like this for this input. In triangle filtering, we use this bilinearly interpolate the 4 closest pixels. So if these are the pixels, these are the 4 pixels. We bilinearly interpolate these 4 closest pixels. So this is A, this is B. Now for linear polation of source U1 V2 and U2 V1, and B is the linear interpolation of U1 V1 and U2 V2. The distance is the linear interpolation of this A and B using these 4. Gaussian filtering also we can do. We convolve with the Gaussian filter. You know how Gaussian filter is. This is a Gaussian filter. So the width of the Gaussian kernel, it affects the blurriness also. So this is how we apply the Gaussian filtering. This is the Gaussian filtering. In this, we compute weighted sum of pixel neighborhood. These weights are normalized values of the Gaussian functions. So all these values you see, this is the Gaussian filtering output. There are various methods we have seen, but there are some trade-offs. Like if you do point filtering, bilinear filtering, Gaussian filtering. So the trade-off is with respect to the aliasing. Some produces aliasing, some gives blurring, and computation speed also. This is the image warping implementation 3. See, this is another implementation in which we are taking the inverse also, and we resample the source. This is how we do it. We are resampling the source with respect to some W. This is the W. So we have an area of this weight. This is the example of scaling. We can scale. You know how to scale it. This is a scaling down. We use 1 by Sx, this value 1 by Sx, and 1 by Sy, and we resample the source. Also we can rotate using this. See, this is a rotation. We use the rotation formula with some W, and this is a resample source. Swirl also we can do. Swirling, we can rotate rotate with some distance theta, and we can resample the source. Now we come to combination, that is image compositing and image morphing. So in image compositing we have blue screen mats, alpha channel, Potter-Duff compositing algebra. In image morphing we have specifying correspondence, warping, and bending. In image compositing we use this is an example of how we can combine. So we have a separate image into elements. So we render them independently first of all, and then combine them together. So it's about combining, right? This is a compositing. So the application is you can have cell animation, chrome keying, blue screen matting, right? This is a blue screen matting. See, the composite foreground, this composite foreground and background images. You can create the background image. You can create the foreground image with the blue background. You can insert a non-blue foreground pixel into the background. So for that we have this alpha channel. Alpha channel is what? This is for transparency. So we encode. This encodes the pixel coverage information. That is, if alpha equal to 1, there is no coverage or transparent. If alpha equal to 1, full coverage, that is opaque. So if alpha lies between 0 to 1, that is a partial coverage. This is a partial coverage or semi-transparent. This is an example of alpha equal to 0.3. This is a partial coverage or semi-transparent like this. So we need to composite with alpha. So it controls the linear interpolation of the foreground and the background pixels when elements are composited. Pixels with alpha channel convention, we use RGB along with alpha. This represents a pixel that is alpha covered by a color, say R by alpha, G by alpha, B by alpha. So color components are multiplied by pre-multiplied alpha, and you can display RGB values directly. And this is the closure in follow the closure in composition algebra. So these are the options. You can just try it. 0 1 0 1, that means full coverage, full green and full coverage. One more we can take 0 half 0 0, that means no coverage. So this is how alpha will change the look and feel. What about semi-transparent object? Suppose we put A over B over some background G. A over B is some certain background G. So how much of B is blocked? How much of B is blocked? This is the semi-transparent object, or say some alpha A. And how much B is shown through A? This is the semi-transparency. That is 1 minus alpha. How much G shows through both A and alpha? That will be 1 minus alpha into 1 minus alpha beta. For opaque objects, how do we combine two partially covered pixels? We can use 3 possible colors: 0 AB, or 4 regions: 0 A, B, AB. This is A, this is AB, this is B, this is 0. This is the opaque objects. We can also perform the composition algebra on this. There are two reasonable combinations: A, B, 0, A or B, B or A in B, A out B, B out A top A, B top B, A XOR B. So there are various algebra you can perform and view the various outputs. This is an example of C, which is A over B. So for colors that are not pre-multiplied, we use C is equal to alpha A, 1 minus alpha B. Alpha is equal to alpha A plus 1 minus alpha A, alpha B. For colors that are pre-multiplied, C dash and alpha will be A dash plus 1 minus alpha A, B dash, and alpha A, 1 minus alpha A, alpha beta, alpha B, sorry. This is the image composition example. Now we come to image morphing. In this we are going to see the specifying correspondences, warping and blending. Image morphing, we animate transition between two images. We try to animate the transition between two images. This is a transformation of a, say, STP oil can into the engine block. We are transforming it like this. It's a transformation. So you can use this cross dissolving. You can blend image with over operator. Alpha of bottom image, say, is 1.0, and alpha of top image varies for, say, 0.0 to 1.0. You can apply the function blend. That is equal to 1 minus t. T is between 0 and 1, and source, and you have the, see, this is the source and this is the distance. So this is how you take the source and blend it with the distance. And also you can combine warping and do cross dissolving, like in the image morphing. This is a source, you warp it first, warp it again, then you can cross dissolve it, you can warp it, and you can warp it again. So image warping, that is the warping step, is the hardest one here. We need to align features in images. So how to specify mapping for the warp? We can use the feature based warping. Bearer and Neely uses pairs of line to specify the warp. If P is given as the destination, say P is given as the destination image, where is P dash in the source image? So how we can compute the source P dash from this P? This is the mapping, and destination image is this, source image is this. So U is a fraction here, and V is the length in pixels from P, this length. This is feature based warping. And we can have warping with one line pair also. What happens to FC here? This is F. So the translation first, then scaling, then rotation, right? So in general, we just like transformations, warping with one line pairs. So we use weighted combination of points defined by each pair of corresponding lines. These corresponding lines. We can use the multiple line pairs also. We use weighted combination of points defined by each pair of corresponding lines. This is a source image, this is the destination image. Now you have different lines, so you can just map it with these distance from P and just find a point in the source image with these two lines only. This is the mapping. So P dash is this is nothing but the weighted average. So weighted effect of the each line pair will be to weight the contribution of each pair, these two lines. It will be equal to length of I, both I, a plus dist I to the power b. Well, length I is the length of ith line, dist I is the distance from a point P to the ith line, and ABP, they are constant that control the wrap of row. This is the wrapping pseudocode. I'm not going to go to the detail, but you can easily write a code out of it. This is the simple, image. You have L dash for each destination pixel P. We initialize P sum W sum, and we transform it with some weight and add the weight, and then we take the division of weighted sum. The result will be new P. This is the morphing pseudocode. Again, we are applying warp image on the Li, and the resulting pixel is computed by 1 minus T warp 0 plus T warp 1. This is a Beer and Neely example as I suggested. This is image 0, this is image 1. Now you warp it. Okay, the result will be like this. So this is a combination of these two, and you can see how the example goes. This is again, you have image 0 of a man, image of a woman. Now you warp them, and you see this, the man and women image are combined, and you have got the different result. So these were the discussion on, I'm just introducing you. The detail is not there because the detail needs to be seen from the book, because once you go to the book and you are aware of what I have taught, then it will be very easy for you to get through it. Thank you so much.